How do you help a child with contamination OCD therapy at home while you wait for professional therapy? Hi, I'm Julie and I've supported a child with contamination OCD, so I know how tough it can be while you're on the waiting list and you can often do everything wrong. Well, that was the case for me anyway, because what I was actually doing was inadvertently feeding the OCD and making it a whole lot worse. So what can you do at home to help your child with contamination and other subtypes of OCD for that matter, by using your own therapy? Well, the therapy you need to start using is called exposure and response prevention therapy, or ERP therapy for short. And what that basically does is get your child to expose themselves to their greatest fears without neutralising them afterwards with compulsions. The best way that we found to approach this was to go to a calm place and sit down with your child and write a list. I got a coloured piece of card for my daughter, and we had got some coloured pens, and that made it a bit more sort of doable and a bit more fun for her. So start off by writing every single contamination or other subtype of OCD issue you want to tackle. Make a list and then get your child to score it out of 10, with 1 being the least anxiety around that item and 10 being the most. Now, a bit of a tip you'll find at this stage, at the beginning of the journey, chances are a lot of those items on the list are going to be high scorers. So what you need to do then is select the item with the lowest scorer, or if they are all high and equal in scoring, get your child to select one, and this will become your first challenge for exposure therapy. What you need to do then is make that therapy out, break it up into smaller steps. Like, for example, it could be, let's just suppose your child is using a lot of wipes. It might just be you want to reduce a wipe a day. It could be a wipe a week. Only you will know what your child can tolerate. But the important part is just making that first step into trying to control this contamination and other OCD issues. So agree what your challenge is going to be. Are you going to try and reduce on something? Are you going to try and extend on the amount of time in between a compulsion? Or are you going to try and expose somebody else to the fear? Because sometimes you can have fear around a relation who's got OCD or contamination. So decide what you're going to do, and then decide a time frame you're going to do it in. It might be a month, it might be for 3 months ahead. You might want to just get it out there ready so they can get used to the discomfort around the idea. But just come up with a plan. So as I say, it could be that you want to say reduce it by 7 wipes within a week, in which case you would reduce it 1 wipe a day. It could be that you want to extend the time in between using a wipe, so when they've got the urge to use a wipe, it might just be you want to get them to count 5 in between each time they use a wipe. So that's basically how you get started. The next, so I say, you need to write a list. You need to agree on the lowest scoring item. You then need to set that as your first challenge, break it up into small steps, and then while they're carrying out this therapy, because this therapy is going to be really uncomfortable, especially at the beginning, you need to then find a way of actually distracting that anxiety. Good ways of doing this is, if the compulsion allows, I mean, it depends what sort of compulsion you're trying to work on, but to go to a quiet spot, like today, for example, I'm sat by the beach. I sat many times by the beach with my daughter and we were carrying out exposure therapy, because it was her favourite place as well. So you can actually go to a calmer place to expose yourself to the therapy, or you can just have some engaging conversation while they're carrying out therapy. It could be that you can play a game while they're doing it. It could be that you could play I Spy, or you could play a board game. It all depends what sort of thing you're tackling. But just find a way to distracting it to make it slightly easier. And also then agree on a reward. I was dead against rewards, but rewards work very, very well in helping a child to tackle contamination and other subtypes of OCD. So just agree. It can be something as small as a cup of coffee or a Lego game, or every child's got their currency. Just decide what currency your child's got. Sometimes with mine, it could just be for a quick ride in the car. But just agree on something, because again, that helps to motivate them and get them on board, and to stay consistent with exposure therapy. So I hope that's helped today on how to carry out some therapy at home for contamination and other subtypes of OCD. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel and to hit the like button if this has proved useful. I'll see you on the next video.